Pinch from PreGameLobby has a couple questions. He wants to know, how does the Xbox Live Arcade permit you to expand the social aspect of casual games with multiplayer options? And do you have plans to release games that the whole family can play together?
Well, we definitely do have in the back of our minds always family entertainment. Family entertainment is a really important aspect of what PopCap does. So PopCap is in the casual game business. We are fortunate in that some of our game designs happen to cross over and are really awesome hardcore games as well. Like, Zuma and Heavy Weapon in particular have done super well on arcade. I'm a hardcore gamer myself, and I play Zuma and a Heavy Weapon and Peggle because they just kick ass as great games. Forget the casual part. But they also happen to do really well with casual audiences, and on the PC that's older folks and and so forth. But on the console, a growing demographic is really a growing audience base has really been families and families with little kids or people my age. I mean, I'm in my 30s. I'm just starting to have a family right now. So I have my my wife and a baby on the way, and so in a couple years, I'm going to want to have that experience for my little ones and be able to hang out in the family room on the high def TV and play games with the kids, or have them play games in a comfortable environment and safe, comfortable environment. There aren't a whole lot of games right now on consoles in general, not even speaking to 360 specifically, but just in the console business, absent maybe Nintendo DS. I think Nintendo DS does a really good job of the handheld space of sort of family friendly entertainment, but in the console space there aren't a whole lot of examples of family safe, family friendly entertainment. Xbox has tried to do a really good job with Scene It, with Viva Pinata Party Animals, some of the stuff that I was associated with when I was there working at Microsoft. I know Microsoft has really made an effort to try and expand into the family category. So Xbox Live Arcade, one of the key tenets behind and the visions behind Xbox Live Arcade when we came up with the concept was to distribute it could be a great low-cost distribution mechanism for family-friendly content. Family-friendly content is always kind of challenged in that hardcore games, the retail channel for 360 and for other consoles is really up in the $50, $60 range. And sometimes, young parents, young families want to be able to buy something for their kids, but they don't want to spend $60 on a disc. So, Xbox Live Arcade is perfect. For 800 points, 400, 800 points, you can download something that's family-friendly, family-appropriate. I think Feeding Frenzy 1 has done a great job of being that game or one of those games, alongside Uno and a couple of other games, of being games you can buy for $5 or $10, throw the kids on them, totally E for everyone, ESRB rated, family-friendly stuff that the kids can party on and have a great time. You have to worry about them wandering into Halo or Gears or whatever.
Right.
So to answer the question, at PopCap we always think about the family, and in particular, as time goes on, we're thinking about, as we develop our Xbox Live Arcade titles, we're thinking about family-friendly modes. We can do family-friendly game content in general. Feeding Frenzy 2, perfect example. Feeding Frenzy 2 has a kids mode. We're actually calling it kids mode, where you're going to be able to hit a button as an option in one of the gameplay modes when you're playing Feeding Frenzy 2, which will be available this spring. And there'll be sort of an unlimited play mode, a no frustration mode, if you will, for kids. So they'll be able to just swim around and eat fish and not have to worry about the timer, not have to worry about resetting their fish each level and getting frustrated and throwing the controller down. So it's a perfect example of us taking the family-friendly goal and baking it into the games and innovating on the games to create specific modes for the family. So
speaking of that, speaking of family friendly, he also wanted to know, with the mainstream media being hard on games, are you concerned that Fox News is going to go after you for having all those naked fish swimming around in plain sight and Feeding Frenzy 2?
No, I think we're probably pretty safe there. I don't think Fox is going to go after us. We take more of a stylistic approach with our graphics rather than photorealistic. So
good.
We don't have any naughty bits on any of our fish.
All right, good. And his last question is, with the success of a lot of PopCap games, he wanted to know what's the secret formula? How do you incubate projects to really end up with a list of some of the most popular games on the arcade or some of the most popular download games?
It's a great question. It's a question I get a lot. what is it? What's the secret sauce, the special sauce, the magic dust, whatever you call it, that makes PopCap games so successful? On the PC, on video game platforms like Xbox Live Arcade, mobile devices, and I don't. I even was asked this question before I worked here, to be honest. And now that I work here, I still don't have one specific thing that I can point to. What I can point to is a couple of 2 or 3 things that I've noticed that are characteristic of what good companies do. There are very few companies out there. I think Blizzard is one of them. I think PopCap is another one that share a design philosophy. And the design philosophy that I'm talking about is focus on quality. Really, really good people, first of all. Starts with good people that know game design and are willing to take risks and willing to try concepts and kill them if they don't work, and not be egotistical, or they're magnanimous enough to say, this isn't working, I'm going to kill it and move off in another direction. It doesn't reflect poorly upon themselves. They're able to just take the concepts, experiment with them, and if they don't work, throw them away. So it's good people, the right attitude, a deep knowledge of games and game design, game history. We are all students of game history and game culture here at PopCap. We play games of all sorts. Not just casual games, not just hardcore games. We play games, all platforms. We play old school games. We've got, if you tour our offices, we've got Intellivisions and ColecoVisions and Atari 2600s and 8-bit Nintendos and Genesis. And we've got all kinds of game systems. Arcade cabinets. We play arcade games back from, the very beginnings of games. So we're students of games. We love games. There are a lot of people at this company have an almost encyclopedic knowledge of games and game history and game design and game mechanics. So I think knowing the roots of the industry, the roots of game design is part of it. Having good people with the right attitude is part of it. And then the other aspect of it, the third aspect, is the game design, game development philosophy we have at PopCap, which is rapid prototyping. We build lots of prototypes. We turn around quick. We test concepts. We throw concepts away. We kill more games. We pride ourselves on the fact we kill more games, far more games than we ever release. So we've got, for every game we come out with, we've got maybe 5 games that we've killed. So we do a lot of games, a lot of game concepts and mechanics that never see the light of day. We try stuff. We have an inherent focus on quality. We will not ship a product till it's done. We won't ship a product against a date. There's no date, okay, you have to ship it for a holiday, and if it sucks, we're just going to ship it anyway, which I think unfortunately, a lot of larger publishers fall into this trap because they're publicly held companies and they have goals to meet and they have shareholders, and stock price, obligations. So they've got to ship a game, and a game oftentimes isn't ready. And given PopCap's success, we've been very fortunate. We are a company that's been around for 8 years. We're totally profitable. We have no debt. We're privately held. We don't have to worry about, oh God, we got to ship this game or the company's going to shut down. So we have this luxury that a lot of companies don't have. A lot of indie companies don't have. A lot of companies developing XBLA games don't have, where we can afford to let a game mature a little bit more before we choose to release it. And so it's a combination of those things. Like I said, it's no one thing, but it's a combination of those things that contribute to the special sauce that I think makes PopCap games successful.